Hey guys, Jacinta here again, reviewing Broken English by McLaughlin, which is published on Amazon, and you can access it through the link in the description below. Broken English is a really relevant story. I really enjoyed it. It is about about Chuck, who is deported to Mexico after it is realized that he is he's illegally living in the United States, and because he has a false ID, I guess. His as a child, his parents brought him in and had an illegal identification for him, and he wanted to stay in the US as an adult, so he carried on with that. But other than that, he has paid his taxes, he has worked all his life, he's supported his family, and then he's ripped away from his family, from his wife Stephanie and his 3 daughters, who obviously are devastated by by this is happening, that their father has been torn from their life. So he's brought to Mexico and left there, where he suffers some he gets some terrible treatment. I think the first day he's in Mexico, he gets beaten up by a group of people, and basically it's about Chuck's survival instincts, really, and how he survives in Mexico and makes a life in Mexico, while his wife Stephanie and his daughters are trying to get him back. They are working with a lawyer to try and get him back to Mexico, but his wife Stephanie feels very slighted. She feels very I suppose she feels like her whole life has been a lie, when she finds out that her husband Chuck actually has been living a lie and she didn't know about it. So understandably, she is kind of annoyed at him. She's very annoyed at him, but for the sake of her daughters and for the sake of her marriage, she does want to bring him back. And she's trying to hold everything together, trying to keep the money coming in when Chuck's not there to work. So they don't have as much, their finances aren't as stable, and everything really is falling on her shoulders, and she's really trying to keep her head above water and to stay strong. And then the story goes back and forward between her and her daughters in America, trying to get Chuck back, and Chuck in Mexico. But over in Mexico, Chuck ends up seeking refuge with in a hotel where he works. He offers to work for food and shelter, and then eventually there's a woman called Mirabella who runs a gift shop in the hotel, and he ends up becoming friends with her. But that's it's at that point that I became disdainful of Chuck's character, that he seems to have an attraction to Mirabella, and he ends up I suppose working and socializing with her in a way that comes across as quite flirtatious, while Stephanie is back in America with her daughters, going out of her mind trying to get him back, and also trying to keep an eye on her daughters, one of whom is very rebellious and is causing a lot of stress, really, adding stress to the situation. But basically the story is a thriller about Chuck's real survival in Mexico, and how he ends up building a life in in Mexico, and it seems that they eventually it seems that he has built a stable kind of life there, and it's like, is he actually going to go back to America? It's a very, very, very interesting story, and I think the whole thing with being deported as an illegal immigrant, I think that's very very relevant to current affairs. I think it's it's a very relevant story, and I think a lot of people would enjoy this. The description in this is so evocative, and it's so clear to visualize what happens in each scene, that like it's almost like Greg, when he writes, it's like he writes so beautifully and so descriptively that it's almost like a movie scene. You can picture it so clearly in your mind, and that's one feature of his writing that I really, really enjoy, and I think you will too. So if you've liked the sound of this book, I think you should click the link in the description below and order a copy on Amazon. And if you do decide to read the book and you like it, or if you do decide to read the book, let me know in the comments below what you think of it, and be sure to leave Greg a review because he would love that on Amazon. And if you do end up liking it, feel free to check out my other review on another novel by Greg, The Curve in the Road, which should come up here. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time for another book review. Okay, bye!